Hello, this is Patrick, one of the wild guys. This is my intro with some of the other wild guys. We will be canoeing and rafting rivers and lakes, and yes, even in the Pacific Ocean in Northwest Territories, the Yukon, and British Columbia. We'll give you a bird's eye view of Dawson City. Thank you for spending a few days with us in Dawson City before going up to Whitehorse. The Keno paddle wheeler was the last to come into Dawson City. Well, the Yukon canoe trip has ended, but we've got to get into Whitehorse and catch our airplane back home. Well, with no plans, how are we going to pull that off, I wonder? Well, let's put a poster on every telephone pole and power pole we got in Dawson City. That should work. The clouds that were above us and just dumping water onto us are now starting to break up, and the storm is all gone. Now we got to find a radio station to put an announcement out to see if we can get somebody that we can pay to take us to Whitehorse as well as a backup. We can hear the radio playing music. Oh, where's the radio station? Oh, we'll just talk to one of the locals and they'll give us where the location is. That'll be great. Diamond Tooth Gerties. I bet you one of those dancing ladies will know where their radio station is. Maybe we could have a chat. Or there's police there. Maybe the RCMP can help us out. We'll find out. Got to the address, all we could see is an empty lot. There wasn't even any buildings there. That's certainly not the radio station. The wild guys better keep out of sight right for a few moments here.
Local radar control, hey?
Boy, these guys look awful guilty to me.
Well, it looks like these boys got away with it.
The constable went right by them. Never got caught that time. Would have been nice if they got caught. It would be good for the movie, wouldn't it?
And that's the Westminster's Hotel, and that's a store that sells everything.
The wild guys are out on the town of Dawson City. They're just walking through and looking at all the different buildings and different things that they could see to add to this wonderful canoe trip that we just had. Great. We're seeing lots of buildings and talking to a lot of people, but so far that radio station is staying hidden. We haven't found it yet. I'll show you some pictures of the businesses around Dawson City. We had a good time at the Pointer Brothers. They were pretty good musicians, and they had a fairly unique tow drink. If it's still there, drop in and see the Pointer Brothers. A lot of the tourists dropped in to see or try out the tow drink. One of a kind. We spent just about 2 weeks on the Yukon River, and we had a great time and kind of bonded to the river. So let's go back and take one last look. John and I will walk over to the river.
Well, that's the last look at our river. There's John. We're sort of feeling sad that we have to leave our river.
Yes. Want to go up to Klondike and get some gold.
Yeah.
No radio station yet. We'll just keep looking. We can hear them on the radio though.
Just shooting down now as we go by Dawson City. And there's a little walkway here. It serves as a dike, I guess, too. And I'm going to show you Front Street one more time. Okay, there we go. And a little gazebo. That's that bank I showed you that Robert Service was in. Worked in. I got some local shoppers here. Look like they're bargain hunters.
We're not tourists.
Not tourists? Some more stores along the way. Some interesting looking buildings. Different slant on life. Oh, there's a dredge of flowers. Well, boys, I think I found the answer for a ride up to Whitehorse. It might do the trick for us. I'll check into it here anyways and see what they have to say.
If we don't find that radio station, this might work.
You're on radar patrol again. Issuing traffic tickets.
Dealing with the damage to their roads and their pipes caused by permafrost. There are two different types of permafrost. One permafrost is on frozen soil that's gravel containing no moisture. This permafrost is not a problem to build on, but permafrost on clay and fine silt doesn't work. As soon as you take the top cover off, then the warmth is going to melt the permafrost, and whatever the structure is, it's going down. It's just a swamp. Great for moose habitat, but not for buildings and pipes in the ground. If wind, fire, flood, building heat, or bulldozers exposes the permafrost to thaw, the bottom will literally drop out. The best way to work with permafrost is not to interfere with it and cause the heat or temperature to change around it with our activities. Build where there's rock and gravel and not so much moisture, and you'll be okay even if there is permafrost. This is a pipeline that was built over permafrost, but the pipes that are supporting him from the ground are filled with ammonia so as to not cause any heat and cause the permafrost to start to melt. This is a trailer designed for moving buildings. They can just load the building up off the pylons and move it over to its new location. That's why we can't find that radio station. Building mover, where did you hide that radio station? It's got to be here somewhere. I hear the music. Oh, there it is. Holy smolders. The building is closed. Nobody there. This is an old wagon with a flower pot in it. I guess we can't use this.
Well, I'm still looking for the owners of this, see if we can hire it. You'll notice there it says it's for hire, so I don't see why we can't use this to, we've got enough time to get into Whitehorse.
Can't get an announcement out on the radio to try and get a ride into Whitehorse. We're going to have to try some other options. I guess I should have planned a little further ahead, but it'll work out.
Notice that old steam turbine? And well, it's not really a turbine, I guess it's a steam engine, and it'll turn that big pulley there on the right, and that will in turn drive something, whichever you need driven. Lots of old boilers in here. You see the tubes there? I guess they used a lot of steam back then. Bunch more over here. I'm sure everybody will be interested in those. Well, there's the dog. There's a fire hydrant. Let's sit back and see whether he's going to make a move or not. He's pretty still. I guess he's okay right at the moment.
You want a beautiful, well-maintained truck in the north. You can tell this Chevy here looks like it's been well looked after. The roads and the weather can have quite an effect on a vehicle up north. But with good shelter and lots of food, the horse does all right. The police officer must have heard the wild guys are in town, and they're keeping a pretty good eye on us, but we're going to behave ourselves, for sure.
Where's he got the red light on that one?
Should just have a sign that says, "Oh."
I just bumped into somebody here. Wonder what they're up to. It says tourist information, that's me. And do I need some information? Yeah. How do we get to Whitehorse? Got any rides? I'll go in and see. And where did they finally move that radio station to today?
Finally, we found another sign that says it's a radio station. Whoopee, that's great. I'm banging on the door, but there's nobody answering. I think we're going to have to give up on this radio station. We'll just go with our signs. Okay, let's go to Diamond Tooth Gertie's. That should be fun.
Talk now.
Welcome to Dawson City. This is a great little town, and we're from the Dawson City Museum.
We're free.
Yeah. Patrick, you got all those free coupons. You can go to the museum anytime you want.
Ah, thank you.
Pat, this is Butcher Bob.
Hi, Butcher Bob.
Plus, they're getting to know a lot of the locals in Dawson. Then Diamond Tooth Gertie's. Oh, we had some fun down there. The Yukon might have been our first venture and canoe trip as a group. But by the smile on their face, it's not going to be the last one.
Well, I used to drive a truck like that. We call them a corn binder, Old International. Robert's Service Cabin, we're on our way. Possibly we're going to have a very cold winter this year. You can tell by this guy's woodpile. So it looks like we got to be quiet. Now there's Robert's Services Cabin.
Bob is like a historical magnet. When you get into these old places, he quite enjoys learning about the past history, and so do I.
Well, I'm just going to take a shot around Robert Service's cabin right now. We can look at a few of the things that he has in there. Apparently it's pretty well restored to the way it was. I guess that's where he did a lot of his work over there. We'll take a look in the back door now. Where he spent some of his leisurely hours. Well, you probably think that I'm shooting off in a forest in a bunch of leaf greens right now. All kinds of undergrowth. Well, not really. Where I'm at is on the roof of the cabin. As you can see, there's been no goat on the roof to eat it off for a while. So back door, we'll go look in there. Just heading down in there now, so we'll get them going in there.
I sure hope they're home. I guess Bob will know pretty soon. He's just going down to check her out now.
Excuse me.
Bob said there's nobody down in there right now, so they must be out on the town or something, because nobody home right now.
And one more shot of the cabin. Robert Service's cabin, just the way he lived in it. And that's the chair where they do the reading. And there's the gentleman that does the reading. Just stuck in his head in his truck right now. One more picture with a little flower in front. I thought that was a wildflower, but could be mistaken.
I'm just going to call it a purple or a violet colored flower. I guess I'm not up to date on my flower.
Okay.
Hi, Pa. Hi, Bob.
Hi there.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Just great.
Good.
Thanks for the tour.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. And there's where my old buddy Pierre Burton lives. I'll go in a little closer and get that sign. Okay, there's a little deal on Pierre Burton and his home. We got some interesting little dogs down here. We'll take a picture of them in a little bit.
And there's Pat going to knock on the door to visit one of his favorite old buddies from the old days.
Yeah, my friend Pierre here. Patrick Law and Pierre.
Prior to 1898, Jack London heard about the Klondike Gold Rush, and he made his way up north. He had a lot of life experience prior to that, and set up their base camp at the mouth of Stewart River, called Broken Up Island, where he was searching for gold, and later went to Henderson Creek. There he got scurvy and had to go to Dawson City for medical care. During the long cold winters, Jack had been told many stories by the Klondikers or the sourdoughers. They would leave him a big cache of stories about the North that he could use later on in his writings. Jack London made a change in his life. London became a determined, prolific. Two of his publications, one being Call of the Wild and a short story, To Build a Fire. Now his annual income would have been equivalent to about $65,000 today.
We got here the dog that was in the Call of the Wild. His name was Jack, but they changed it in the movie to Buck. So you now have the original picture of the original dog.
Here we have the best dressed cat driver in the Yukon, just outside the Yukon Territorial Museum. Slow down there, Pat, you might hurt somebody. Has quite a grader attachment to go along with it. Of course, Pat loves this sort of thing. And
well, these are trip wagons. You could put in some kind of, you could put grain or I imagine ore or anything in there. Pull a lever and the door on the bottom would open and everything would run out when they had a shovel. Nifty idea. Hey, there's Bob just heading up the stair. Hi, Bob. Okay, I'm coming. Hey, Bob, take a close look down the barrel of that one. See if you can see anything. I'll fire up the other end.
There's light at the other end there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, we can forget about that radio station and trying to track it down. We've got some locals here that read our poster and have agreed to take us back to Whitehorse in time to catch our plane. All worked out great.
Think you're gonna make her?
oh, may do. She's Saskatchewan plates, huh?
3 ladies and 1 cat, and they're going to take the 6 of us to Whitehorse in this van. Hope it works out.
Oh, here comes Glenn.
We got just about everything loaded. Got 2 more people coming. And it's kind of dark in here. We're loaded to the gunnels. Oh, we're not fully loaded yet. We got 2 more wild guys out here wanting to get a ride too. So we're going to try and fit them in here somewhere, I guess. Oh, it's Bob and Bill. Better not leave them behind. Bill's our crew boss. Sign says we're at Tintilla Trench. This is going to be a piece of cake. We only got 434 kilometers to go before we're in Whitehorse. Not a problem. Well, we're getting out to stretch our legs for a little bit here. Oh, and don't forget the cat. He's out doing his business now, I think. The Tintilla Trench is well known for its glacier activity. Didn't have that much snow on it when we come through, though. We'll get back on the road soon.
We found a wildcat out in the bush.
Here we have the 6 wild guys that just did the canoe trip down the Yukon River. And they're just looking over the Tintilla Trench right now, along with the 3 ladies that give us a ride back into Whitehorse so that we could get our airplane back to Vancouver and then back up to Kelowna to our home. It's time to get back in the Ford Econoline if we can all fit back in there and head for Whitehorse. The cat is jammed in there pretty solid with all us. Not welcome too well neither. Looks like this guy got mismatched socks on, but actually what it is 2 people. We're jammed in there pretty tight. That Patrick guy got a hard time for not planning this trip back into Whitehorse, but look at how great it is. We'll never forget about this trip that we had when the Econoline and the 3 ladies and the cat give us a ride right to Whitehorse. Hey, we're already in Stewart Crossing.
We come across a fairly big bridge, come across Stewart. And not very nice. And that's the van and the place that's closed there. Well, there's still more to come to get into that van.
We're just going to try and see if we can all get back in there again. Well, we're all in the van again, and we're heading out now, and that is Stewart River we're crossing.
There's the Five Finger Rapids we come through. We went through the left channel, and you can't really see the channel there. You can just see where the rock broke down. Actually, it was some fairly nice water going through there.
It's the left channel when you're looking upstream, but coming down, make sure it's the right.
Should have gone down the left side. Ah, that's what I kept shouting out.
Do the left side, left side.
That's what that guy at the Carmack said, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Down the left.
Don't let them fool you. When you're coming downstream, both the rink and the Five Finger, keep on the right. The Ford camper van is doing pretty good. We're making good progress, heading for Whitehorse. We got another view of the Yukon River. We've got many memories on that one. We're just traveling by the Five Finger Rapids now.
And there's the boys just sitting and chatting it up on the table there.
The wild guys are resting now, but they don't realize we're just about to pull into Whitehorse. We didn't need all that planning, and look at the fun we had getting this pulled together. Great.
Okay, this is our group.
We made it to Whitehorse, not a problem. Plus lots of excitement.
Transportation, our chauffeurs into Whitehorse. Thank you very much.
Well, the Ford camper van has got us here. 9 people, 1 cat, and all this luggage you see here. And no problems. Now we just have to move our stuff into the high country inn. Should be more comfortable than the tents that we've been sleeping in. Tomorrow we will be going out to the airport where we'll take Canada 3000 and fly back down to Vancouver.
Well, that's our luggage. A little less than what we had before. There's Bill, we can't wait to get home with his new hat to read his emails. Good hat there, Bill.
How do you spell that?
There, John. You didn't get a new hat, John, but you got a pin in your hat, didn't you?
I got a pin in my hat. I actually did get a new hat, but I'm not wearing it.
Behind the pillar.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Pat.
Bob didn't get a hat, but he got lots of other goodies there.
Oh, I got a hat.
You got a hat?
Yeah.
Just a sec. I'll come back on when Bob gets his hat on. Here comes our super host.
Well, we're getting a little bit of information on when our room's going to be ready, and also to our transportation out to the airport tomorrow. That's great.
Okay, can I zero in on your hat there, Bob?
I don't know, okay.
Let's see, what you got written up there? Oh, it says Midnight Sun Hotel, Dawson City.
Good. Yeah.
We're going to have a night's sleep in Whitehorse, get up, have breakfast, and the next thing you know, we'll be at the airport.
Well, we're in the airport now, and we're going to be going fairly soon. There's a flight attendant that's after our luggage, quite a lot of it.
Very soon, the camera will be shut off. We're going to be going through Canada 3000 security, getting load on the plane, and heading down to Vancouver. After we get in Vancouver, we got to take our luggage and load them onto a van, which will take them out to where we have our trucks parked. We will then load them on the trucks, and we'll be heading to Kelowna. It was a wonderful canoe trip. Another bucket list knocked off. Well, we've lightened our load here in Vancouver a bit. 3 women and a cat are gone, and we just got the 6 of us, wild guys, and our luggage. So we'll be heading out to pick up the pickups now. We will be home in our own beds tonight. Oh, thanks for coming along with us on this Yukon canoe trip. This will not be the end of our canoe trips. We're going to be making many more. And if you can come along with us on our next canoe trips, I think you'll enjoy it as well. The Myrtle Lake will be in the middle of the interior of BC. Watch for Patrick, one of the wild guys here, and he's going to show up when we do the canoe trip on the Myrtle Lake West Arm in central British Columbia. Don't miss it. It'll be a good one. We plan to upload a canoe or rafting trip each week. Come along with us. That is the Nahanni in the background. You'll be getting to see that one too down the road. Bye for now.